is anybody seen Coffee with Karan? Anybody seen Coffee with Karan? Anybody seen the rapid fire section of Coffee with Karan? Is it a fun section of the show? All drama, that's why it is a fun section of the show. Yes. So we are going to make it 18 against 1. 18 against 1. All of you get to be Karan. All right. And I am your guest. All of you get to be Karan and I am your guest. No question is off limits. No question is off limits. But as we play this game, I need you to take notes. Where do I hesitate? Am I connecting left and right brain? Am I putting an emotional connect into the answer? Right? All the concepts we have been learning till date. Can Friyas use those concepts to answer the questions or not? I'm not splitting you up into teams. Zoom is going to arbitrarily split you up into teams. I don't know who's going to go in which team. So have fun with the questions, create some funny, create some engaging, create some informative questions, and let's see which team can get more information, quality information, connected information. Question quality matters. Question quality matters. Ayush, question?
Ma'am, what is rapid question?
Rapid fire. Thank you, Ayush, for asking. Thank you, Ayush, for not watching so much TV. All right, Ayush, rapid fire goes like this. I will ask you, Ayush, what's your favorite movie? Deepika Padukone or Ranveer Kapoor? Eggs or toast? Jam or, jaldi jaldi, fast fast. You have to answer. That 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 that. Okay? समझ में आया? All right. Into your rooms. You'll get 1 minute notice when I'm bringing you back. How exciting is this? I think I'm the only one who's excited. I should be the one who's scared, but okay, whatever.
Good to go, ma'am.
You
Good
know,
to go.
it felt like you sucked us back here. Like, you know, that vacuum kachak. Come
We
back.
are very excited to ask you the question.
Ananya, my kingdom. तुम लोग को केम हमेशा भूली जाओ. My kingdom. Shall we begin? I don't know who's in team A. I don't know who's in team B. All I know is I'm about to get bombarded by questions. And oh man, I left my pani all the way over there. Tension hoga to main kya karungi? All right, chalo, we'll deal with it. Tanu's like, all right, ma'am. Team A, we don't know who's team A and we don't know who's team B. Because you know why? Nobody asked me that. All right. Everybody in Bhushan's team, raise your hand. So I know. Everybody in Bhushan's team, raise your hand. All right. So the senior most person on this team is Anjali. So I'm going to call it Anjali's team, and that's team A. Everybody else, I'm assuming, is on team B. Right? So where is Satyam?
Ma'am, Kajal is also in our team.
Kajal Maurya?
Yes.
But she is unable to have her audio on today. She has messaged me. She's somewhere else. So we'll let Satyam be it'll be Satyam's team. I don't know, I'm just making it up. All right. So Anjali's team and Satyam's team. Anjali's team, team A, Satyam's team, team B. Satyam is like, you should have told me it was my team. I would have prepared like a leader prepares and comes. Isn't that what you're saying, Satyam, in your head? Should have prepared that way anyway. Should have prepared that way anyway. All right. All right, let's begin. Anjali's team, you have, and I'm setting the timer. Timer kaun chari kara? Yeah. You have 6 minutes to finish your questions and your rapid fire. All right. Your time starts.
Ma'am, 1 second. Anyone from my team can ask the question.
Anyone from your team. Anyone from your team. You have 6 minutes. The other team is rating the following. The other team is rating the following. The quality of the question. Remember, the question should also have right, left, emotional connect, right? All the three components we've talked about, right? So you're going to rate the quality of the question, and then you're going to rate the quality of the answer that the interviewer was able to get as a result of the question. There are how many types of questions? There are how many types of questions? 2. What's the first type of question?
Rapid fire.
I love you, Swara. But what's the first type of question I taught you all about last week? Closed-ended. Closed-ended question. Up, down, in, out, yes, no, right, wrong, Deepika, Ranveer, like this. Right? Closed-ended question. And what is the second type of question? If one is closed, what's the second type?
Open.
Right. What, why, how, right? Open-ended question. When do you want to use a closed-ended question? When you want a very pointed or a very specific answer. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Narendra Modi, someone else, Congress, BJP. When you want a very pointed answer, you want to use a closed-ended question. When you want information, what do you use? Open-ended question. All right. So all this time we've been learning about how you would answer a question. But if you can also figure out the types of questions that are being asked, that also helps in how you answer a question. Ananya's like, ma'am, so much you should have explained before we got broken up, before you put us into teams. Don't bring us out, then teach us. Don't do things like that because that messes up our game. Isn't that what you're thinking, Ananya? Yes, that's what happens. After 3 years, I can see your head even through Zoom. All right. So Satyam is upset I didn't make him leader before he went in. You're upset that I didn't do this recap before you went in. Chalo dikras. Anjali, are you ready? Is your team ready? She's like, nah, kahin na kahan jaun. Anjali, I'm starting your 6 minutes. Okay, ready?
Amisha, you can start with the questions and then we'll keep changing. Yes.
Ready, Anjali?
Yes. Yes.
Question 1. How do you handle your nuffarts?
I ignore their nuffert behavior to begin with. I don't acknowledge that. I acknowledge the behavior that I do want. I also interrupt the pattern. Logically, there is a sequence that I follow. I use the word nuffert because it interrupts the pattern. They don't expect a teacher to call them nuffert. They don't expect a teacher to use a word like that. So because I know how the emotional center works and the prefrontal cortex works, I use the word nuffert to interrupt the pattern. Secondly, I don't acknowledge the nuffert behavior. I focus on the behavior that I want. You know better. This is where it should be. I expect this, right? As a result, I see phenomenal results. I see children who want to keep on returning. I remove the children who are not interested in leveling up. So on an emotional level, I create the kind of company I want them to keep with one another. And I use the science that I know. Your time's ticking.
Ankita.
Okay, ma'am. So if you have to pick one in this group other than Kesha to replace your place in Pehchan, whom would you choose?
Nobody, not even Keisha. Because I want each of you to be your own unique people. I want each of you to be your own unique leaders. Each of you bring your own unique strengths to the table. Why would I want, and I am unique in and of myself. Who can even think about replacing me? No chance. And I honestly believe, if I look at each and every one of you in this classroom, there is nobody who doesn't belong here. There's nobody who couldn't do this work. There's nobody who couldn't lead it. And if you work together as a team like we do, there's nothing you can't achieve.
Durgeshwari, can you ask a question, please?
What makes you smile?
What makes me, the tree outside this window, it's been my best friend since I came to this country and we moved into this house. And I spoke in a funny accent and my English wasn't the best and I wasn't able to make many friends when I moved to this country. And so I used to open this blind every morning and I used to speak to the tree outside my window. So till today, actually, when I come home and I'm under some stress and I just stand at the window and I talk to her, even on days where I couldn't even get out of bed. Uh, and she makes me smile because she just sits there. She's so sweet. She listens. She definitely makes me smile. The first answer that came to my mind, but Durgeshwari, on a more philosophical mind, on a more philosophical line, things that make me smile when y'all succeed, when y'all smile, when y'all achieve new levels up, when y'all are happy, when somebody tells me that something they've been dreaming about forever has happened. You all are mine in every sense of the word. So making somebody happy makes me happy. All right, next please.
Kushan.
They are so like, this is, hello, you all have to learn how to answer the questions also. You all are not just like, wow, nice answer, heart, finger, thumbs up. You all are supposed to learn also how to answer. Like, you all are just like, right is gone, right is lit up, left is lit up, emotional center has happened, all right, happened, good answer, thumbs up, heart. How are you answering also learn. All right, chalo, next, please.
Ayush, I think Kushan left, so Ayush.
Bhushan must be having some signal issue.
Connection issue. Sorry.
Yeah. Ayush?
If yes, ma'am. If you want to choose one of them, whom you love most, Swara Didi or Kisha Didi?
I love them both equally. Why do I have to choose? This is some Samaj nonsense. Ye ya wo. Bollywood drama nonsense. Wo ya ye. I'm not someone who believes in choosing from bakwas choices. Give me good choices and I'll choose. But Swara brings so much quality and strength. Keisha brings so much quality and strength. It's like asking a mom, who will you feed today, your son or your daughter? I mean, that's no, there is no choice to be had here. Both. I choose both. Option A, no. Option B, no. Option C, both. All of the above.
Ma'am, I'll ask one question. Your favorite food? We all don't know about it.
My favorite food, you all know about it?
We don't know.
Acha, my favorite food is this particular type of dal that is made in a Parsi home called dhan saag dal. I do not know how to make it. I crave it. And from wherever I can get it, I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to get it. So I do love dhan saag dal. It's not something you can eat every day, but I definitely love it. And the other thing I love is a corn casserole that my mom makes. So those are the two things I genuinely love, like love. Tikha dal, basically, very tikha dal with a chicken or something like that.
Kushan can go next.
Pushan! Oh, your time
Ma'am,
is over, dude, and rapid fire.
ma'am, last one. Ma'am, last one.
Okay, bolo.
Ma'am, which was the biggest day of your life and why?
Biggest day of my, but I've had so many big days in my life. But I'll go with the first one that came to my mind because that's clearly what the universe wants me to tell you. So the biggest day, I was 15 years old. I had 15 or 16. I had just come home from school. I was wearing a blue dress with white frills. Yes, that was very popular in the early 90s. Nowadays, you all would look at us like, what are you wearing? Anyway, so I came home and something happened at home, and mom was talking about how I need to now think about college and where am I going to get admissions and my SAT scores, and something came out about a regular job, 9 to 5 job. And I just, at that age, I just turned around and I said, I'm not made for a 9 to 5 job. I'm not made for one of these things. It's like I knew in that moment that God had a purpose for me and my life. I just didn't know what that purpose was. But that was a pretty big day, Bhushan, in my life, that I had such a big realization. And nothing has been the same ever since that day. Ever since that day, it's always been about my journey towards my purpose. So for me, it was nothing like monumental, like I ate the best food or I met the biggest celebrity. I met myself. So the day I met myself and the day I met my purpose was definitely the biggest day for me. Most welcome. Nobody is learning from my answers. Everybody is just listening to the answers. Yes.
You are answering so beautifully. We are forgetting to rate their questions.
But you know why? Because there's left, right, emotion. બધું light up થાય દિમાગમાં તો સમજ નથી પડતું કોણ જાઓ. This is
And we are making mental notes.
अच्छा अंजलि.
It's better.
કઈ નહીં value તો mental notes. I know those mental notes very well. They drive me mental. All right. So team A, you failed to complete your rapid fire. Did you have a rapid fire in place?
Ma'am, so all the questions were all over the place and we did not have time.
Okay, so there was, so basically you did not have your rapid fire, therefore you have not completed it. All right, so team A is done. Team B, Satyam.
Hello.
Not fair, not fair. I'm starting your 6 minutes.
Sorry.
Huh.
No. Please don't start it before we started. But our questions will begin in a couple of seconds, okay?
What?
So, but before that,
Huh.
because we have a host, we have people who will present the questions. So here is welcoming everybody to the Q&A session of Team Satyam. Here's our greetings to all you members of You Know Who's Kingdom. So here's presenting to you the queen of our kingdom, the star of our sky, the one who keeps our self-esteem always high, to whom we'll never say a goodbye, and to the apple of our eye, Priya Shroff. Requesting Satyam to please begin with our first question.
Okay, so my first question to you is, what is the exact amount do you have in your wallet right now with proper dollar and cent?
I think I have $2 and a few cents. I'm not a cash carrying person. I'm a card carrying person, like a true American. So I have a credit card in my wallet, but I think I have $2.20. Like, it was seriously embarrassing. I went to Chick-fil-A that day to get a cup of coffee and my credit card declined. That was a whole different story. And I couldn't even pay for a cup of coffee because I didn't have enough dollars in my wallet. So yeah, I don't carry much cash at all. Not here in America, for sure. Thank you for the question.
Madhura, you go next.
Yeah. Strangest thing that you have eaten?
Deer. I ate venison once, but I did not know I was eating venison. I got tricked into eating venison. I was in Atlanta. I was in college. I was visiting one of my mom's friends because I was not adjusting to college well. He was an Indian gentleman who was very fond of hunting, and he had deer ka achar. No lie, it was deer ka achar. So it was put on my, and he asked me, will you eat venison? So of course, in my young Bhola phase, I was like, what is venison? And he's like, ha ha ha, you don't know what venison is. So abhi bola nahi pata hai to. So then he said that venison is deer, and I said, no, thank you. Then he put it on my plate anyway. I didn't know it was there. Then after that, he said, see, you ate it. So the weirdest thing I've eaten was venison.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
The next question is, ma'am,
What is the weirdest thing you have done to get your work done?
I sat in a judge's office. I sat in a judge's office for something like 16 hours. They thought she will leave now, she will leave now, she will leave now. It became a waiting game. He was inside his office and he wouldn't come out because I was outside the office. And the secretary kept wanting me to leave and I wouldn't leave. You know, that shelter home I was telling you all about that we were building a wing to, and we needed him to sign off on a piece of paper and he was just not doing it. And we had our inauguration coming up. So that is definitely, and I was so young, Pratiksha, I never even knew I had it in me to sit in a judge's office like that for 6, and at that time no cell phones to keep us entertained, no Facebook to keep us entertained, no video games to keep us entertained. I just sat for 16 hours in his office or outside his office. He never met me though, Pratiksha, you should know that. He never met me. He just signed the papers and sent them from the secretary's hand. He never met me. So till today, I don't know what he looks like. Mohammed, you can leave if you need to. You want to ask your question and leave, or you've already asked your question?
No, ma'am, we are sorted. Everybody
Okay.
knows what they're doing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Come back after your call, Mohammed. Come back after your call. Come back after your call. Okay, yes.
So your next question is, would you have your house dirty with, would you have a clean house with a lot of mice, or would you have your house dirty? You understand?
Why would there be mice in my house if it was clean?
Ma'am, you have to
They're
choose.
just there. They can rapid fire question, hypothetical, please.
Listen, if you started rapid fire, please tell me you started rapid fire. Karan doesn't do this, ask a question and then say this is now a rapid fire category. Mein. But so if this was actually an interview question, I would ask the interviewer a question which is very relevant to do. Why would my house be dirty if why would my house have mice if it was clean? Let's assume there was a rat infestation and I had to choose between mice in my house and a dirty house. I would choose mice in my house because I could get an exterminator to get them out. But clean is very important to me.
Yes, ma'am. So your next
That
question,
sounds like
please.
a question with Keisha influence. Yes. Next
Yes.
question, please.
This is a rapid fire question, please.
I
Not
wasn't
a rapid fire, it's open ended.
in their team,
Oh, you wasn't in that team. Okay. Huh,
and I
Arushi
didn't
bol
help my team either.
Arushi bol tikra.
This is an open ended question, please. Explain what a conversation between you and a pigeon looks like.
Oh, I talk to pigeons. My kids know that. They have seen me talk to pigeons. Do you all know
We
that?
all know that.
Exactly why that question. We all know that.
Oh, I talk to the pigeons that come. Hello, tikra. Sukh karo chaje. Sukh hadu. Pachu gone kidu mara balcony par. Kai ghari ghari avya karech. Biju gher sod. I talk to my pigeons.
Thank you, ma'am.
Arushi has no response. But I talk to all animals. Bird bhi aave to I will talk. Butterfly bhi aave to I will talk. I will talk to all of them. Yeah. Up 6 minutes over.
We are done. We're done. We're done.
Wow. Neither team had rapid fire. That's super interesting. Neither team had rapid fire.
Ma'am, you said only 5 questions.
And then rapid fire.
No, we thought you said ki only 5.
Pachko. All right, listen. What did you learn? This was fun, I know, but what did you learn? Yes, Ananya.
So when the first team asked you questions, you not only answered the question, you also elaborated around what you're saying. So, for example, in the last class, you asked me a question ki, something on the lines of where do you live? And I just said that I live in Mumbai, but what you did here was you elaborated on the whole question.
Right.
For like the Swara and the Keisha question, you said why it is important to you that everybody gets like equal love, and so that is what I learned.
So Ananya, of the components we have learned so far, left, right, emotion, other components that we've learned so far, which parts of the answer, pick any question and pick any answer to that question, which components fit into which section? Do you know what I'm talking about? Say, for example, this last question that Arushi asked, if you had a conversation with a pigeon, what would the conversation be? Which part was the left? Which part was the right? Which part was the emotional connect?
So I think the way you spoke and the answer you gave was kind of the emotional connect, like you speak to all animals, and the way you speak like it is your friend, kind of. So that was the emotional connect.
Okay. What was the left?
I
Yes,
think
bol Ananya, finish.
the question was left.
That was her. I'm talking about from my side. What was the left? Ankita, from my side, what was the left?
May I say?
Yes, Satya.
You said that my kids know about this, and so people who know me know about this.
Yeah,
so
I gave some
that-
facts, right? I gave some facts. I do talk to pigeons. I do talk to all animals. My kids know about this. Have you all seen me talk to animals? I gave some facts about it, irrefutable facts, which are very left centric. And then I gave the answer specifically in Gujarati because I was catering to this audience. If I was actually on some television show, I would have given the answer in English. But because this audience is always amused when I speak in Gujarati, I chose to give the answer in Gujarati. That was also another way I created an emotional contact because I knew I'd get a response of laughter from you all if I spoke in Gujarati, right? And then the right brain side was actually the words I say to the pigeon, which was actually getting you all to visualize that pigeon on the balcony, me saying the things to the pigeon. So that's how you got your left, your right, and your emotional. Yes. All right. What else did you see? What did you observe? Talk about everything you observed. Yes, Avisha, then Anjali, then Arushi, then Pratiksha. Avisha, and then Mohammed. Yes,
I
Avisha.
have a question. I think when Durgeshwari asked you that what makes you smile, you probably instantly did not have one answer come to your mind. So what did was you looked around, and the first object or something that you saw around you, you said the answer out of that.
Yes.
So is that true?
Yes, it's true. I had many incidents come to my mind because there are, in any given, Avisha, I am someone who has suffered very badly with depression and anxiety, very, very badly. And to the point where it had completely broken me, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever get myself together after that. And one of the skills I learned after that, because there are no victims here, right? We make our choices, we suffer the consequences of our choices. And I have made a conscious effort now since 2007 to find the moment that will make me smile, or to create the situation that will make me smile. So there are many things now that come even on the worst day. I can find something to smile about, or I can smile. I used to joke way back when. I don't think this is funny anymore, but I used to joke way back when I was a little less mature than I am right now. Is that behind my smile, people could not see my pain. I had mastered the smile. So, how much pain I was in and what I was dealing with, people could not see because they always said, "Wow, you look so fresh. Wow, you're always smiling. Wow, you're always this." And so I said, okay, if God has given me this smile, then let's also find a reason to always keep it happening. Right. So that was so that's why the second that question was asked, I got flooded with moments where I smiled because every day I'm creating or looking for those moments. And yes, you're right. I did look around. Jaldi su bola hai. Like, what can I say very quickly? And that's what I came up with. But that's what we can do, right? Even when we are in an interview, even when someone is asking us something, and something or another will always click when you look around, because we take in 80% of our information through our eyes. So the signal goes very quickly out. So look, use the power of that. 80% of your information. That is why when you pray, you close your eyes. So you shut off 80% of the information you're taking in. That is why when you meditate, you close your eyes so that you shut off taking in 80% of the information. So even if your ears are on, or even if you're touching something, 80% is banned when the second you close your eyes. Right? The Anjali, you were going to say something, then Arushi, then Mohammed, then Bhushan. Go ahead, Anjali.
Ma'am, I had like a question.
Yeah.
So we actually prepared a lot of questions, close to like 10 questions, I
Wow.
feel.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of them were rapid fire, but somehow I don't know, like, those questions which are supposed to be either or, you turned it into like an open-ended question. Some way, I don't know how.
Give me an example of that question.
So, suppose like Ayush asked Kisha or Swara. I mean, I understand like it's not like an answerable. You like can understand where the answer came from, but like still, how did you manage? Like at that moment, I would be like this or that. I would just answer it.
Right. Anjali, thank you for saying that, and thank you for being honest about that. I think many times our school system conditions our brain that when we tell you to choose, choose. And so what happens is, even when you're not in an exam, and even when you're in a real life situation, your brain takes you back to that old pattern, choose A or B. Even though you know you don't want to choose A or you don't want to choose B, you want both, but your brain has conditioned you to choose when you're asked to choose. And it's a very conscious effort, Anjali, that you have to make to unlearn patterns that have not served you well and replace them with patterns that do serve you well. Now, had I known it was rapid fire, which I did not know, had I known it, to me, it just sounded like a closed ended question as part of an interview. But had I known it was a rapid fire thing, I would have answered something like Keisha for X, Swara for Y. You understand what I'm trying to say, Anjali? No?
So is it like you need to, so when as an interviewer you need to like mention the type of question you're asking, not exactly, but again in a subtle manner.
Yes. So, like Karan actually says, we now have a rapid fire round. Rapid fire means you cannot elaborate on your answer. You have a short amount of time, move through it. Now, that also we will talk about it later, but that talks about mentally setting up someone's expectations, right? We want to answer quickly. You have 1 minute as answer as many of these questions as you possibly can. Then you know that you cannot go into an elaborate answer. That's another type of way of doing it, right? That is otherwise people think you want to know more about it. Otherwise people think you are in an interview, you're in a dialogue. Right now, Anjali, if I was Ayush and I was a seasoned interviewer, I would have even given a little bit of pushback, right? So if the question was Kisha or Swara and I gave the kind of answer I did, we love your philosophy. We love how great you are. We love that you love all your kids, but choose Kisha or Swara. I would have given some pushback if that was a relevant enough question to the work that interviewee was doing. If it was not a question relevant enough to the work that interviewee is doing or the purpose of my interview, I'd let it go. I wouldn't give a pushback on that question. Make sense what I'm saying? Like, for example, Friyas, would you rather be in charge of the public school system or Mumbai University? And if I gave some high funda answer, this, that's all great, but choose public school system or university. I would push back if it was a Pehchan interview and that interviewer was talking to me, right? At which point I would say Mumbai University, hands down, any day of the week. Got it? Got what I'm trying to teach you here, Anjali? Yeah. 1 second, Madhura. Arushi?
Yes, ma'am. So this is an observation, please. As you were answering Bhushan's question, you mentioned his name. Which to mention somebody's name, I think that's part of connecting and building a rapport, which we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's an observation.
Rapport. What was Bhushan's question?
Your biggest day in life.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The biggest, yes.
Yes. And that's another thing, right? I mean, Arushi, I can think of so many big days. Now that I've had a few minutes, there's so many big days that come to my mind. In the 21-day challenge, when we had to interview someone and I interviewed my father mentioned one of these like really big days. That was a big day for me, but also a big day for them. But in that moment, you must choose. So the trick I use is I choose the first thing that comes to my mind and I answer it the way I answered Bhushan. You know, there are many incidents that come to my mind. However, I'm going to choose the first one that came and then just talk about that. So your interviewer, if she wants to ask a follow-up question, or if she wants, you know, she can, right? She's trying to have a dialogue with you, at which point she can ask a follow-up question to you like, Friyaz, you said you have many such moments. So what would be another one or two? So when you answer like that, you allow the interviewer to have, see, kids, interviewers can either lead the conversation or you can lead the interviewer into having the conversation you want to have with them. Right? They can come most prepared with some of the best questions. But if you ever find the interview is not going in the direction that is allowing you to speak about your project, to speak about your work, to speak about the purpose of why you've chosen to do the interview, you can redirect it. And you redirect it by doing things like this, planting a seed. There are many such moments. The one that comes to mind is this, which may make her say, hey, what's another such moment? At that time, you choose a strategic moment. Say if I was doing a Pehchan interview, I would choose a Pehchan related moment, which would then make her ask me another question about Pehchan. And all of a sudden, her script will go to the side and she will be following my script. It's an art. It's an art. And those of us who master it will change the world. Yes. Ananya.
So also one thing that I have personally learned, which I would like to share, is that when the interviewer asks you that, please tell us something about yourself. So that is one question which you can use to your own advantage and answer the way you want the conversation to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. If I was giving an interview about Kurniv and somebody said, tell me about yourself, I would talk about parenting. And I would talk about the coaching and I would talk about how the coaching has led me to learn a lot of things about kids and how I'm going to parent them, etc. If somebody was interviewing me about Pehchan, I'd speak about Pehchan. And if they asked me that question, tell me a little bit about yourself. Because you know what? There's so much to tell about me. So absolutely right, Ananya. This is where strategy comes into play. Also, how long your interview is. Is your interview 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 minutes? Will also determine the kinds of answers you give. And in that case, even if your interviewer has come with a long, elaborate question, but the interview is 5 minutes, you need to get your core points into those 5 minutes. Answer quicker, put those points across. Right? Okay, someone had their hand raised and I've lost the order. I think Mohammed wanted to say something. Yes, Mohammed.
So quick thoughts and learning. So it might help others also. So preparing questions with your team. One is remember the interviewee. teamwork coordination, anticipate future situations, and be prepared for those situations which you anticipate. Now coming to answers, like how you I just noticed what you did. So one was environmental awareness, so you knew what was around you and how you can take that into your answer. Then what I feel is like quick thinking and effective thinking is the master of the game. Now when you can think quickly and effective, that answer is like even the shortest amount of time, that takes the ball game. Then another one which you mentioned, and even Ananya mentioned, that it was a question that how to turn your question, how you turn a question, like if the time is low, there is a question out of the box, like out of the conversation, and you want to put a forward thing again. How to turn your question, turn that question into yours, like how to redirect that question, and so you
Yeah,
answer that.
absolutely. We need to do that. But Mohammed, one of the most important things when you're the interviewer, you should know the purpose of that interview. What do you want to gain? What do you want to get? What do you want your audience? What message do you want your audience to receive by the end of your interview? Then you work backwards. What will be the questions that will get me to that message? That is very important, right? Even when then you will master slowly the skill of, as an interviewee, when you enter, what is the purpose or what is the message I want to send to the audience at the end of this interview? So then I will keep customizing my answers based on that end message I want the audience to receive. Right? I wanted you to receive left, right, emotional content. So every answer I was thinking left, right, emotional, left, right, emotional. This audience needs left, right, emotional. Right? So, no, you must know. I keep telling y'all, have a vision for whatever you're doing, have a vision. Whether you're interviewing, whether you're attending, I used to go to lectures. Now, of course, I was a little older, etc., etc. But when I went to classes voluntarily, like this Delhi program that I did, Delhi Bangalore program that some of you know that I did, I used to sit the night before and write down what I want to achieve by the end of the class the next day. And if at lunch I had not crossed off those things, I would actually go to somebody and say, hey, I want to learn this. Where do I get this today? How do I accomplish this today? How do I master this skill today? How do I practice this skill today? Right? You have to be purposeful about your life. And I really want you all as leaders, as change makers, to learn about being purposeful. Purposeful in conversation that you have, purposeful in thoughts that you have, and purposeful in decisions that you make. Very important to be purposeful in what you're doing. All right, Durgeshwari.
Ma'am, I have a question. How to introduce yourself creatively? Creatively.
So, Durgeshwari, I want to help you answer that question, but I feel that right now, after so many classes, you have some of the skills that you need. So, I would rather you draft an answer and then let us look at that answer together rather than me tell you that answer. You know that you have to have a left side. So, your left side would be something related to your education, right? Typically, you know you need a right side, which would have something to do with your interests and how you apply those interests. And then you know you need to have an emotional connect. So then you would try to connect a feeling that you have about your life and where you wanted to go. If I was someone your age, so I would use a left, I would use a right, and I would use a feeling.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But write it, Durgeshwari. Let's look at it together. Like
Okay.
even when people ask you, what is Pehchan? What does Pehchan mean to you? What have you learned at Pehchan? Don't just keep it a left brain answer. Include the right, include the emotional connect. Learn, write these answers down. Then let's look at those answers together. See, does it have all the components you've learned about? Because as there's a reason we're doing this, right? Because as our program grows, we can create more reach if you know how to speak. Why did we do the 21-day speaking challenge? So that you would get the confidence you needed to speak. How much did author Sherry say he was charging for his course? Madhura, how much did author Sherry say he was charging for his course?
60,000.
16,000. How much does it, and that's because it's on discount and that's because of whatever else it is. Normally, how much does he charge for it?
Around 1 lakh.
Around 1 lakh. How much do we charge you for these courses?
Free. Free of
Free.
course.
Free. The value add y'all are getting that you will be able to apply in your lives and your workplaces outside is being charged at 1 lakh. That is why that day on the 21-day challenge thing, when I put it up and none of you could answer that there was a cost to that program, it blew my mind that y'all just take this learning for granted. Y'all take these levels up for granted. Don't do that. If you've been given homework, do it. And if you're getting opportunities, take them. But then do something with them. Because if you had paid 1 lakh for this program, believe me, you would be using it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes. All right. Who had someone else had their hand raised? Something's in my eye since when? Madhura, you just spoke, Beta. Okay, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Ma'am, actually, I had a question that pushback. What do you mean by that pushback you were talking about? Uh, in Anjali's answer, you were answering Anjali's answer, and you were saying push back the interview's question. I did not understand that.
Anjali was talking about Ayush's question, right? Right.
It was a question about choosing. So you said
Yes.
that instead of giving that.
Yeah. So Madhura, if it was relevant to my interview, now Ayush just asked a question. I think they were trying to get a rapid fire question in, so they were trying to do Keisha or Swara. But pretend it was an interview. Someone was asking me about Pehchan, all right, and someone gave me a particular choice. Like I said, would you rather revamp the school system or would you rather revamp the university system? And say I gave some sort of diplomatic answer, why not both, or something like that. The interviewer is perfectly within her purview, because I'm there to represent an education program, to push for an answer, to give me pushback. I understand, okay, we want to revamp both, but if I'm giving you a choice, you can only revamp one of the two. Which would it be? She can give me a pushback because it's relevant to why I am there to interview. But say it wasn't relevant at all. Say she asked me, she was trying to get to know me. I'm there for Pehchan, but she's trying to get to know me. And she asked me, do you prefer cats or dogs? And I say something like both. She need not give me pushback because it's not relevant to the purpose of the interview. Making sense? Okay, who else? Wow, really great interaction today. Anjali.
Ma'am, for the introduction thing, isn't it like marketing yourself to the interviewer or the other person you're talking to?
In a way, yes, but you're marketing more your purpose. Again, people confuse this a lot, Anjali. I feel when you go and see interviews, people want to say, Are, I did this and I did this and I've earned this award and I've done that, even if it's not relevant to the purpose for which they have come onto the interview. Now, it's different if someone's interviewing a celebrity to get to know the celebrity. That's a different type of interview, right? But if you're going for a purpose to raise money for something, to have more volunteers for something, to educate people about the gap, then we're not really interested that you have an MBA or you have a doctorate or you have something else, right? We're not interested in all of that. So you want to keep your introduction relevant. 1 second. What's the time, Ma? Okay, so you'll come back. Okay. Okay. I love you. Bye. Thank you. All right. So you must keep your introduction relevant. Anjali, does that make sense?
So it's like if I'm going, so suppose if I'm going for an investment banking job, then I am talking about my education, my experience.
That's
but
right.
if I have experience in accounts, then it doesn't count in my investment banking, right? It's like that.
Well, something like that. But now
Something.
when you're going for an interview, and say it's your first job, you're going to talk about everything. But yes, you're going to talk about your investment banking experience more than your accounting experience. And Anjali, the smart interviewees will be able to connect accounting to investment banking. So even my background in accounting, while I analyzed this and did assessments for this and reports for this, I believe have prepared me for investment banking, because I know in investment banking, we have to advise clients on this and this and this and this. They're not really related, but you found a way and you got all your information out.
This has actually happened with me when last year, around this time, I was interviewed for an investment banking summer analyst at Morgan Stanley, and I only lost that opportunity because I was not confident and didn't know how to connect these things together and give an answer.
Yes. And none of you have mentioned that you all observed that I had confidence and ease when I was answering. None of you said that. I was nervous because you know what? Whatever you all think, at the end of the day, I'm the educator. And at the end of the day, I have to teach even when I'm being put on the spot. So I have 10 different thoughts happening at the same time, right? I know what Pratiksha's weakness is. So when Pratiksha is asking me a question, I have to answer in such a way that Pratiksha also learns what she needs to learn, but Anjali also gets the message Anjali needs to get. Similarly, when you are catering to an audience, you got to cater to your audience. So, Anjali, yes. And believe it or not, the more you build your lateral connect, the easier these answers will come. The more you do Sudoku puzzles, the more you um, play these intelligent video games, and not these like PUBG types. But the more you play these intelligent video games, it starts building this lateral connect that you need. It just does. And the more I teach in this in our parenting class, I teach that we have gray matter and we have white matter. Forget what it's called scientifically. We have cars and we have roads. If I have one Khatara car, forget car, I have one motorcycle, all beat up, and I have lots and lots of roads and highways, I can go anywhere. But if I have 10 cars, BMWs, Audis, Mercedes, but no roads, where will I take those cars? Where will I take those cars? Mohammed, you do what you need to, bacha. Where will you take those cars? We need to build roads in our brains. But the fact is, our school system, your school system, including your school system, Anjali, including Swara's, including Kisha's, they don't prepare our children to build roads. Then we get frustrated that our children can't think. Right? So, Anjali, your school system hasn't prepared you, your college system hasn't prepared you to give an interview where you can connect your accounting to your investment banking. We, however, at Pehchan are doing that for the kids who show up. Anjali, it's a practiced art, and I would suggest for you that you download some super logical games. I think I've shared with you all the ones that are on my phone. I share with you all a lot of things, but nobody does what I tell them to do. So these are the games I have on this phone. This is my India phone. I have something, you see that W? It's a game where I have to place these objects to get as many score as my scores. Then I have a word game where I have to slide my finger to create as many words as possible. The biggest game I'm using right now is this app called Duolingo, where I'm learning Spanish. And every day I sit, and every week I give an exam to see how many which skills I have mastered. So you can see, I'll just scroll through with you. What is in gold, I have completed. Each circle has five exams. So I finish 5 tests and then I get one circle. I finish 5 tests and I get one circle. You kind of see how this works. So this is what I do. I sit and I do this every day. I'll give some amount of tests. So these are some, now these are in blue, I've not given yet. So someday I feel like doing this, someday I feel like doing another one. But the point is, every day I'm helping roads build or roads get repaired. That's what gives me the ability, for as long as possible, for as long as my age and brain cooperate with me, to answer this way. Got it? All right. Any other pressing questions, or maybe call it a day? I think today's been a good class. Yes, Pratiksha.
Ma'am, I have few questions to you. Can I ask that after this class?
Okay, so 1 second. So official part of class is over. All right. So whoever needs to go, whoever needs to do whatever they need to do, please feel free. You don't have to ask for permission. You may leave. Please let me ask you to go through the questions that we went through today and see how they could have been sharpened. How would you have answered them if someone would have asked you those questions? Because now we have learned from interviewee side. Now we are going to begin to learn from interviewer side. And then we will put this together, and that's when we will call this particular course to a close. All right. So for next week, we will continue, but now we will build theoretically on the interviewer part. All right. So whoever needs to go is most welcome to go. You don't need to ask permission. Whoever wants to stay, whichever questions you all did not ask that you all still want to ask, I will stay and answer.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that your whole time you give it to us, like whole day, and to to yourself, which time you give to yourself, like.
Bhushan, I have two answers for that question, please. One is, somehow my mind, body, and soul, and I don't say this just to give the politically correct answer, but somehow my mind, body, and soul does feel that giving to you all is giving to me. So, on one level, there is that. But listen, there are times where I need to completely disconnect. I will not answer a single phone. I will not reply to a single message. I look at Swara smiling because she's been there. So there are times where I just need to disconnect, whether then that is because I want to meditate, I want to sleep a little more, whatever it is. You have to listen to this. I keep saying this less, this more. She will tell you it's time for rest, it's time to cut off, it's time. Also, when I become extra chidchida, I know it's time to back off. I know it's time to take some time for myself. So I do take time for myself. It's a misconception to think I don't take time for myself. Whatever said and done, Bhushan, I've been in America now for 5 months. Right? Whatever said and done, I have taken this time. I have come and spent it with my family. I do invest in you, but I invest in them and in me also. There is enough time in the day. God has given us enough time in the day.
Ma'am, I have two things. So first is for the questions, like as an interviewer, when you ask a question, or even as an interviewee, when you expect a question, isn't it more like there's a follow-up question to the question they ask, like to the answer you give. So
Should
if
you ask question? Are you asking me? Should you ask questions that have follow-up questions, or what? I'm not understanding the question. I'm
so
sorry.
suppose I have gone to give an interview, and the interviewer is asking me about my introduction, and then he asked me more about like my previous work experience. So is it like, shouldn't I expect more of follow-up questions, or is it like just normal thing?
So here's the thing: don't go with any expectations. Let him do his thing now. He knows what his company wants, or she knows what their department needs. You don't go with any expectations. You don't go with any expectations for how the interview will be conducted. You go with a purpose for what you want to achieve through the interview. This is the information, these are the four main key pieces of information I want to communicate in my interview. फिर वो completely अलग question पूछता है, somehow you get your 4 points in. Right? You go with your purpose. You don't try to understand or have an expectation for what the samne wala person will or will not do. Anjali?
Yes.
Hmm.
So the next thing was career-wise, like how did you know realize that this is what you had to do
This
professionally,
pehchan.
Pehchan and everything in professional life that you have achieved?
Pehchan is not professional. I earn nothing from Pehchan.
Before, like apart from Pehchan, like outside Pehchan.
I didn't know, Anjali. I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, everybody thinks we should know, and everybody kind of conditions young people to think that by the time they're 14, they should know what they're doing, and commerce and arts and science, and then MBA karo, and then this karo and that karo. I don't think by and large many young people know what they are going to do or where they are going to end up. Some, like Satyam, have a very clear vision. I want to do BFM and then I want to do CFA. But most kids don't. So the honest answer to your question is I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a teacher, but my parents were not in favor of it. Then I thought I wanted a master's in social work. And again, my parents were not in favor of it because they did not feel it was a profession through which I would earn very well. So I went on and I did my MBA. And I followed the progression, right? And I did very well in my MBA and I got a brilliant job and I started earning very well. And obviously, it was not feeling right, correct? I was back to that 9 to 5 job that I had been told when I was 15 and 16 that that's not for you. But you see, slowly, 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 making one choice after another with respect and grace, I have ended up exactly where I wanted to, being a teacher and serving. I think every piece of life's puzzle doesn't work out instantly after college when you go to your first job. I think you have to be open to what life is going to bring your way. And I think you have to allow life to happen with respect without trying to force your will on it. And I think you just have to be open to what the universe is going to bring to you. And don't get married to societal standards, please. You must get this type of job where you're earning this, and you must, you know, it does it feel right to your soul? Then it's the right job. Does it feel right to your soul? Then it's the right college. Does it feel right to your soul? Then it's the right program. Are you making choices because you want to hurt somebody else or because you want to prosper? Stay in line with your values, and slowly, slowly, life has a funny way of bringing you right where you're supposed to be. In my dreams, Anjali, in my dreams, I never thought I would move back to India. I never thought I would have 7 kids or 8 kids. That the world would not understand only कि ये I केवा बच्चा. I never dreamed I would start a program like this. I never dreamed I would have a conversation like this with these dynamic young people. I never dreamed I would form a friendship with a woman who's some 20 plus years younger than me. These are things God works out. You just have to keep your heart open. And when you keep your heart open, you have to be prepared. It will be broken many times. Many times. You can't keep your heart open and say, accept that person, accept that person, accept that person. It doesn't work that way. It's either here and they all have access to it to do whatever they want, build it up or break it down, or it's in here behind a cage. That choice is yours.
So it's like it's good to have a vision, but you should also be open to new things coming your way.
Yeah. Keep that vision, work that vision, be respectful of that vision, honor that vision, work hard towards that vision. If you've seen that vision, there's something your soul knows that anybody outside of you doesn't know. So work it. But also allow the opportunities that are coming to you to come. Don't forcibly close them off. Right? Don't forcibly close them off. You never know where it might lead. Anything else, Anjali? Avisha.
Ma'am, I had this one question since you were sharing about the life brings you back to where you're supposed to be. But at that time where you're somewhere not, you're not supposed to be here, but you are there.
Mm-hmm.
So what kept you going? Because it's only when you keep going you will reach here, right? Otherwise,
I don't know. I think ever since I was little, it's not that I always prayed or it's not that I always any of that, but I don't know. All I knew is I had to get up. Even on the worst days, there were mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. But Avisha, what I realized at that phase in my life, I had given the control of my life to somebody else. Either the person I was in a relationship with, or either this project was being managed or run by some other type of person who didn't share the vision. I was at any time I was at a low point, it was because I wasn't being true to myself. I wasn't being true to my vision. I wasn't being true to my purpose. I was trying to please somebody else, please that person I was in a relationship with, please that boss, please the parent, please the, even though I was, like, say, in my 30s and I knew better, I was doing something to appease someone else so they wouldn't have they would always like me or always want to keep me around or always want to work with me. And it was when I started being sincere to myself that the game started changing. And there are, Avisha, still days where I'll hear of a student of ours, one of our students who I know very well or that I'm close to, who's going through a seriously abusive event at home, or not being allowed to study, or and it breaks me, literally breaks me from inside. And maybe there's an hour in the morning I can't get up because I'm like, what am I doing all this for? Why am I doing this? And then, because you're on your path, somebody's message will ding, which will be, ma'am, remember last week you told me this, and then da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, time to get out of bed. God is done with you having a pity party. Right? But it takes practice to keep your heart open, to allow the universe to keep talking to you. Because even in your lowest moments, the universe is talking to you. It's just that you are so closed off, you can't hear what it's saying. Even in your most confused moments, the universe is talking to you. Are you listening? That's the question. So when I'm confused, so Avisha, here are my now fundas at 46. When I'm confused, do I go right or do I go left? And both options are appealing to me. I choose the option that is going to positively serve the most number of people. Right? When I'm confused. So even if that's a major that I had to choose, do I do commerce or do I do science? If I did science and I'm going to become a doctor, or if I'm going to do commerce and I'm going to start a business, which is going to affect the most number of lives positively? Then I would choose that. Right? So say, for example, I chose science. I'm just saying, I chose science and I chose, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. Then it came to me choosing, as a woman, and do I want to be a woman doctor, like a gynecologist, or do I want to be a surgeon? Where will I serve the highest number of people? Like actually serve, be in service to. And I don't mean you don't charge for your service, okay? I'm just saying, who can I be in most service to? There's a shortage of females. For example, there's a shortage of female surgeons. There are so many females that need. I can earn very well, but I can serve this community as well that is left. Then I may choose that. You kind of see what I'm trying to say? When I'm faced with a choice, that's what I do. Right? Do I stay with this NGO and continue trying to work it, or do I move out on my own and try to find funding? Where will I be able to serve the most number of people in the highest possible way? And then I choose. Does that help you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's what I do. But Avisha, I didn't know this when I was 16, 17, 20, 25, 30, 35. I didn't know this. It came later. So, kids today, they all want all the answers right now. And you want someone to predict also your future right now. I will do investment banking, then in 3 years, I will earn this, then I will go here, then I will live in this type of house, then I will this. Nobody has it that planned. And then what happens when you don't get that mark and you don't get that house and you don't get that job? How could that not happen? How could that not happen? You created your own movie and you didn't allow any part of life to teach or work with you. That's how that happened. So chill. It will happen. And what you're supposed to learn, you will learn. But be open to the learning. Be open to the learning and don't judge so harshly yourself. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake. I chose that bakwas relationship which broke me into 100 million pieces. Okay, I chose that bakwas relationship in 2006. Or I chose it for 6 years. It ended, it broke, it finished, it's done. I learned, I grew. I moved to India, I met my kids. I started Echo, then I started Pehchan. I met all of you, and here we are having this kick-ass awesome conversation. And y'all are going to go on to change lives and change futures and redefine our country, employ some of the best people, create some of the best businesses. I don't think that depression was so bad in the long run. If I hadn't broken, I wouldn't have moved to India. If I hadn't have moved to India, I would not have volunteered at the municipal school. If I hadn't had volunteered at the municipal school, I would never have met Sunil. If I'd never met Sunil, I never would have met Keisha because I wouldn't have known what Sunil was going through at HR college. If I hadn't had met Keisha, I wouldn't have worked to start the first program. And if we hadn't encountered everything we encountered 3 years ago, we would never have started Pehchan. We would not have a Dosti, we would not have a Shabd, and we would not be having these online classes like this. It just depends how you want to look at it. It's not worth the depression. It's not worth the thoughts that say this is the time to bust it so much we can't handle life anymore. Trust me, I've been there. It's not worth it. It's a much prettier picture once you can get yourself through that tunnel. Much prettier picture. Whoever needs to leave, you can leave. We are just as though they are still sitting in my house, in my living room, having a conversation. They never want to leave when they're at Marine Chambers and they don't want to leave the Zoom call. All right, are we done now? I've been so patient. Wow, amazing.